So the lie began from the very beginning of time, right? And I can ask you one question right now. What does history tell you about Africa? Who discovered Africa? If you write right now on Google who discovered Africa, you find out that is one white man that he came and discovered Africa. And you can ask yourself that how can you discover a place that already exists? How can you discover a place that people already live in that place? It is impossible, but that's what the history tells us. That's what people believe about Africa, that it was discovered by a white man. This guy, he came, and then he went back, he gave a report, and then the next we know is colonialism, because those guys, they sat somewhere to divide Africa like a piece of cake, because they discovered it, they own it, it belonged to them. But that is us. We discovered, we're the first people to know. And today you have a lot of people around the world that they think that Africa was discovered by them.
Ethiopia. And congratulations to everybody, because I think for the past 2 years it has been, crazy. It's been hard. And I remember I started to speak about Ethiopia like 3 years ago, right before the conflict started. And so I've been following closely everything that is happening. And it was just fascinating to see how African Union, led this peace talk almost for 10 days. And like my brother said, this is what it means to, solve our own problems by ourselves. We should be proud. African Union should be proud. And I think it's a challenge. Yesterday, we were having this talk with my people, and I was sharing with them that I think it's the time for us Africans to find a way to fund African Union so that this organization may actually work for Africans. Right now, they might be limited because some of the funds, they're not really coming from us. And Sankara said, whoever feeds you controls you. So they're kind of limited in their work because there's some funds that are coming from outside, but it's a time for us Africans to come together, to contribute, to support African Union so that they may do their work for us. And we're looking at the budget. The budget is very small. It's not even 1 billion, like US dollar in a year. It's less than that. It's like a couple millions there, which in fact, like all of us, you can just give like $1. And actually funds African Union. So I think this is the big challenge, and kudos to African Union, kudos to Ethiopia. And I think this is the time for reconciliation and healing. So we pray for this peace to be sustainable, as long as it can be. And I believe Africa will never be the same again because of what just happened here in Ethiopia.
And so now,
hey everybody, welcome everybody to this session. For those who are watching me on YouTube, I appreciate you guys. If you can press like button on this video, I would really appreciate. For those who are watching me on Twitter, watching me right now on Facebook, watching me on TikTok, I appreciate you guys for joining. It's a very important day, very important session. And I think this is the very important week in Ethiopia. And I'm here in Ethiopia right now, as well as a very important week in Africa. I'm in Africa right now, all right? It's very important to build from what has just happened and to continue to have a conversation about the way forward from where we are right now. So right before I start, building my points here, And later on, you know, I believe I'll be having people joining here to contribute as well. Is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update? If you believe there's anything to learn from what has just happened for the past 2 years and what has just happened this week, if you believe there's anything to learn, I will open a stage for you guys to come and to contribute. So the family on YouTube, welcome. And I want to introduce you, family, the YouTube family, to the, you know, TikTok family and Twitter family and Facebook family. We are available on Facebook, Swahili Nation page, and we are available on Twitter, One Swahili Nation. And also available, okay, on TikTok is my personal, and also we have Swahili Nation as well. So I'm going to have people joining me in this session, both on TikTok and on Facebook, and on YouTube as well. So you guys will come and will contribute. So if I have a guest from YouTube, TikTok, you'll be able to hear just the voice. You're not going to be able to see them, but you hear them. And also if I'll have guests from TikTok, I don't know who is going to join and contribute. So it's just a surprise, you know, anyone. All right. If you're here on TikTok, if I'm going to have a guest from TikTok, also YouTube will get to hear their voice, but you're not going to be able to see them. All right. We always say this, that we are the voice to the muteless. We believe that we are the voice to the muteless, not the voice to the voiceless, because everybody has a voice. You, me, and everybody out there, we have a voice. But the system and even ourselves sometimes, you know, we are muted. We mute ourselves. So we are the voice to the muteless, because we believe that there's a button that you just need to press, and then people will start talking. All right. And we have witnessed that from what is happening in Ethiopia. All these things that have been happening. We have seen the movement of normal. We have seen people coming together. All these are, you know, the time that people, they actually, there's a button was pressed to Ethiopia. And because that button was pressed, it kind of like unmute them. All right. And you've seen all these people, you know, coming together from all over the world, you know, standing against, you know, whatever that was happening. And that's beautiful. So that's our mission, and that's what we focus on, voice to the muteless. Before I begin, I'm just gonna raise a word of prayer, and then I'll go ahead with this session. If you're on YouTube, like this video, share this video. You know, we need as many people as we can today in this session to hear and also to raise your own opinion. It's very important to hear your opinion, and I'm here to listen to you guys and to listen to one another. All right. God, I thank you for today. I appreciate you for this moment that you've given us, this air that you've given us to breathe, and this life that you have granted us with, because life is a gift given by God. And so we appreciate you. And as we continue with this session, we just pray that you'll lead us, you guide us. Most importantly, you'll teach us, you know, through your spirit, so that we may walk with you and we may protect our neighbors. We may love one another. We may preserve peace that we do have. And we may always remember that we are one people created by you, God, alone. So I welcome you in this session. In your precious name, Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. That's a good way to start all the time. All right, guys. So, you know, let's dive in. The question is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update? The reason why I put this question this way, it's because I don't want to say that there's something to learn from it. I don't want to jump into conclusion. I'm giving you guys the wide range of the space for you guys to actually share your opinion. If you think there's anything to learn from the recent updates or from the recent events that have been happening in Ethiopia, is there anything to learn? And if there's anything to learn, what is that thing to learn? All right, that's what basically I'm trying to ask. Dang, I already have like 3 people on TikTok wanting to join. Guys, that is the question. All right, that is the question. And I want you guys to help me to answer that question. I have my opinion. I think I have my own suggestion if there's anything to learn or not anything to learn. But I want to give an opportunity to you guys to answer this question first. And then I'll build on my opinion as well and build on what you're going to say. So before I say anything, I want to hear from you guys. So this is what we're going to do. If you're on YouTube right now, let's say you're not in a position to join me and to share whatever that you have, because I'm going to give chance to every single one of you. I'm just here to listen you guys, to listen to you guys, all right? I'm going to give a chance to every single one of you, one after another one. You will come here and you will only share if there's anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent updates. You will share if yes or no, and then you dive into your answer. If it is yes, then what is there to learn? If it is no, then what is there not to learn? You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to do. You're going to have that moment for yourself to come to share whatever you want to share from that event, and try to, you know, don't use 10 minutes to share, right? So you're going to try to do that and raise your point, and that's it. And then I'm going to take you out, and then I'm going to invite another person as well to come to join and to share if there's anything to learn from the recent event. I've already seen the request on TikTok here. So let me just say this, that I'm going to invite one out of the respect from our people here on Twitter. I'm going to invite you, one person on Twitter, to come and to share if there's anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update. That is the topic, guys. So if you don't have anything to share about that topic, please do not send the request, because we say we are the voice to the muteless. And one thing, we want to give our voice. We want to be the platform that will raise the voice of our people. So the numbers you see here on TikTok followers, or the numbers you see on YouTube, is not for me, right? This is the platform for you guys to come and to raise your voice about anything. All right, and that's why we advise you guys, we encourage you guys to subscribe on our YouTube, to follow on our social media, because this is how we can raise our voice. We're trying to create an African Media SNS Well Nation Network, in 5 years, later, if God wishes. And, we need people, because all our message is nothing without you guys coming together and stand with us. It's nothing. All right. And in that note, let me just say, one Africa, one passport. All right. So I'm going to invite, there's one person here already on Twitter, and here on YouTube, I'm going to invite you guys on the page. Okay. I'm going to copy this link. Only join if you have answer to this question. Is there anything to learn, and what is that? I'm going to allow one person here from the TikTok to hear his or her opinion. Okay. This is the first guest I'm inviting. All right. I have here Tesfaye Shiferau. All right. Accepted here, right? Oh, this guy, I guess he ran away. All right. Let's go with Emmanuel SD. Hello, Emmanuel. Oh, man, that's bad. That's really bad. All right. I share the link as well on YouTube. If you're here and you want to raise your voice. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hello.
Yeah.
Just I heard all what you said, but sorry, my English is not that much good. I'm from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa.
English is not our language. No worries.
I see your emotion, your Pan-Africanism, how you just proud to be African, how they just, many of Ethiopians and all other from Africans, when they go to Europe, maybe there is a problem there, being black kind of things. But we have a lot of things, a lot of cultures to proud to be, as Africans. We have everything. We do have, I don't know how to say, we have culture, beautiful culture as Africans, as continent. You know what? We love everything, but we don't use that one. I don't know why we are just doing these things. This is just, I don't know, this is not normal. We have to wake up and being united and use one currency as a continent, like Europe. You see Europe, they use the same currency, euro, from the end to end. But here in Africa, and if you go to Eritrea, they use another. If you go to Kenya, they use another. If you go to Ethiopia, another. So this should come together, and we have to use one currency. We have to be more united, like, because this is just, we have to do this one as a nation, as a great nation. We have to. This is our only option to. We don't have another option as a nation. We have to come together, and I don't know how to say.
All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate for that. Let me go back to the question that I asked today. So is there anything, do you think there's anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update or what has just happened in Ethiopia? Do you think there's anything to learn? And what is that? Emmanuel? Hello? Hello, Emmanuel? Okay, I think I lost Emmanuel there for a second. All right. I appreciate Emmanuel for what you shared here today. It means a lot. If there's anyone who's going to join, is going to ask, to join and to contribute, the question is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update? If there is anything to learn, so please, join. The link is in the comment section for Swahili Nation. Come, join, and raise your voice. All right, come, join, and raise your voice. Let's see. I want to try to balance. So on YouTube, I still don't have anybody coming here. So I'm just going to accept here from TikTok. Let me balance. Okay, let me go to here. Yes, hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how are you? I am good. I'm good. Do you mind to increase your voice a little bit? It's too low.
Okay.
All right. Do you mind to introduce yourself and where are you joining from?
From Ethiopia.
From Ethiopia. All right. And what's your name? Hello? Hello? All right. I think I lost her little bit. So, okay, you can come here anytime if you can come anytime after you get the if you get connected. Let me move to YouTube because I see I have someone here on YouTube. All right, I have Mr. Alpha Jacob Arsano. Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Man, it's cool. It's cool. You're looking good, man. How are you?
I'm amazed, man. You are such an amazing power because I've been following you for a while, to be honest with you, for the last, I don't know, maybe 2 years or so.
Wow.
And I know I've been following Ethiopian, politics for, for a while, of course. But I live in Boston for sure. I'm a professor, but I just have to tell you, I just want to tell you a lot of kudos to the thing that you do, the thing that you were talking about in terms of actually bringing Africa, Eastern Africa, the whole Africa together. So I just have to put my appreciations for you, number one. Number two, I know you're also raising your questions on the recent AU, led, the meeting about the youth. I think that's one of the questions that you've had, right?
Yes, indeed.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me though?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. So yes, of course, it's critically important. Number one, the ability to, for African Union, for them to recognize the youth have some power, some advantage, to recognize, number one is, critical to recognize that meeting and to bring, to bring about and then bring all Africans together and really have their voice, to feel that they're actually being heard. That's the number one area that we need to really appreciate it of or recognize. And number two, I think because we know the next generation is going to be transferred for the, the power should be transferred to them though, right? Yeah. So that's the other element. So this is an excellent bridge. This is a best way of, bringing them into the conversations and show them what politics, show them what really mean being, in a place where you can actually, represent your people. So this is an excellent way of telling them, we have a lot to prepare, we have a lot to do here. And it's not as easy as it is, but, this is, it's one way of bringing them into the next level. So that that would be the second an important element, just to get them, introduce what we can do as an Africa, what we can do as, for our nation. And number three, the youth definitely are engaged with a lot of the new technology, the new ideas, new way of actually, doing power, new way of engaging, ourselves. Therefore, being entrepreneur, just like you, coming up with a new idea, not afraid of it, not afraid of actually risking, all of that is an important element in the politics. Therefore, from the perspective of, from the perspective of, giving them a chances for tomorrow, one, from the perspective of actually bringing new talents, new ideas, new way of thinking, number two. And of course, if you start thinking from now while you're young, imagine what you can be, or actually when you have that positions. So all of that has an important element. I know the gentleman earlier was talking about currency. Yes, that is the ultimate goal. But the groundwork need to be done a lot. The groundwork, in terms of actually us communicating, the peripheral, the boundary need to be actually much more softer, because we know who created the boundaries of the African boundaries, right? We never had that before. So that need to be smoothened. The way how need to be to make it smoother, because the people need to interact. The people need to actually plow that region. They need to actually communicate. The culture need to be actually go back what it was before. So once that is actually in place, now the politics are actually going to be the next step. And then, of course, the currency, all of that will come naturally. Yes, we have to force it. Yes, we have to be very willing. But in order to actually to do that, with the next African nations. But that's what the ultimate goal, to bring Africa together, to bring the diasporas together. Because I think Ethiopia is doing great. And of course, we have the prime ministers that actually have a grander vision. And I hope, things would, go for the better, I think.
Well, Professor, first of all, I want to appreciate you, first of all, for, your courage to come in and to contribute, your opinion. I really appreciate. Nice to meet you. And in the private chat there, I've asked if you have a WhatsApp number, please don't hesitate to drop in the private chat there. We can definitely, keep in touch and have more conversation about this. I love what you raised. But at this moment, I want to bring in another intellectual person I know. We call this guy here in Swahili Nation the Minister of Education, because of how he thinks and how he articulates his thoughts. So I'm going to bring him in, of course, to share his opinion about, is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's current, recent updates, and maybe if there's any question that I would love to ask you or to raise, I would love to see that.
Absolutely.
Nati.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome, my brother.
Thank you very much, and I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Very good. Just straight to the question, what can we learn from Ethiopia's recent updates? Now, my brother Alpha Jacob articulated on the recent phenomenon of the youth meeting to discuss their own perspective on African issue. And it's actually one of my, this week, this has been one of the consolations that I have got from the African experience put all together. Because as youth, we've been waiting when our time will come, and we've been told, and we grew up being told that you are the future, and we are getting old. So this is, I think, one of the things that I consider as something hopeful. All in all, in general, I just jotted down two points that I wanted to talk about. What can we learn from the recent updates on Ethiopia? I am an Ethiopian, and please forgive me, I have my own weaknesses with regard to my own homeland. Though everyone has a soft spot for his own motherland, one of the things that I can say loud and clear is that the first thing when I think of Ethiopia, the first thing that comes to my mind, especially with the recent phenomenon with the war and the post-war and the whatever is going on, is resilience. Why am I saying resilience? Resilience is a very, for me, is a very, very strong word, because Ethiopia is not fighting the Ethiopian ethnic war. There are so many multifaceted, interested groups that are playing behind the curtains. And Ethiopia, when I say that we learn resilience, is because there are so many things behind curtains at play. It is very sad. It's very disappointing. It is my lowest moment to talk about war in Ethiopia again after all these years. And it is shameful that it is the poor sons and daughters of the farmers, teenagers, paying the price with their blood. It's shameful. But at the same time, when we see it in the bigger picture, we are learning resilience from Ethiopia. That's saying, no, we want to have our own room to discuss issues of Africa, issues of Ethiopia, issues of a black man having his own problems, trying to solve their own problems, disregarding any external efforts. So resilience is the first word that comes to me. The second one is discussing the African interest in our own terms. As an Ethiopian, I don't deny it, and I'll never deny it, that we are poor. But when it comes to our identity, we don't negotiate our identity and our consciousness for anything else. So discussing the African interest on our own terms. No one dictates the African interest except Africans themselves. And Ethiopia is the conscience of Africa when it comes to discussing African interest on our own terms and conditions. And I want to give a very, very clear example. The Ethiopian experience gives a bold statement to the rest of Africa that Africans should be stepping up to their own problems. We don't need any negotiator. We don't need any peacemaker other than our own selves. And this has been mentioned in many intellectual, political, socio-economic platforms. But I think it's a high time that we respect that we discuss our own terms and interests on our own land, in our own perspective, from our own people. And this is the second point that we need to discuss, that we are learning from Ethiopia, learning the African interest on our own terms. Last but not least, since it's been mentioned that it's a high time, and remember, this move of engaging the African youth is the first step to self-realization that we are tapping to our own manpower, the youth. I mean, I've always been having a difficulty in accepting that Africa is poor and is overpopulated. No, we have manpower that is not tapped. That's the perspective that we need to discuss about. Poverty, everyone was poor at some point. Even the Europeans sailed to the Americas because they were running away from their own miseries. And it is in the last 150 years that the ancestors of the present Irish Americans, French Americans, and Italian Americans who scrambled to get a space on the ship to go to the Americas. The only Americans that we know are the quote-unquote Red Indians, the natives. Everyone else fled elsewhere for better living. So the African poverty is just a temporary thing. It's a temporary thing. And Mika, you are my witness that you've seen what has been happening, that we are in the next 3 months producing 1.3 million quintals of wheat. Who plowed it? On whose soil? Who planted it? These are the things that we need to discuss about. And these are the things that we need to learn from Ethiopia. So it's a high time that we drop our boundaries and our borders and learn from one another. I know I'm not living in Ethiopia right now. I have my soft spot if you ask me for Tanzania, Tanzania is like my hometown and I've lived there for quite some time. In as much as Mika is passionate about Ethiopia, I would love to work in Tanzania, and that's me. So it's a high time that we need to drop the boundaries of these mental boundaries, leave alone the borders. It will open someday. And learn from one another, and resilience, discussing the African interest on our own terms and conditions, and giving the youth the right platform as a stepping stone into tapping our manpower is the points that we need to learn from Ethiopia. Thank you.
Come on now.
That
was beautiful. Professor, you want to jump in?
No, that's actually point, and I like the word resilient. Obviously, the resilience actually really states a number of things, and if a continent can be actually named by a nickname, it would be resilience. Africans went through as an African, Black people really went through. I mean, you name it, all kind of problems. But the fact that we actually existed, and the fact that we don't really hold grudges, and we're not really complaining, and still we are open enough to actually bring even more people, from any other continent. It's really amazing. The culture of Africa in general is welcoming. I mean, look at what Europe had done. Look at what America had done. Look at North or South actually had done to the continent of Africa. And still the people are welcoming, and sharing what we've had. Aside, of course, what is being done, living in America myself, and I can be the very, first person that I can witness this, on a daily basis. So yes, the word resilience is an important one. Really bring home to the idea what we are actually talking about. And of course, one of the things that I want to also bring up when you were asking what have we learned from the recent meeting that the African Union had done for the youth is the very idea of, creating the precedent that, the gentleman actually mentioned it too, that we can do it in ourselves too, it really create a precedent of we can solve our own problem. We know what we have been told, even in a recent meeting that they had in Ghana, the security meeting that they have in Bardar recently, not even 3 weeks ago. And I know what the the representative from America was actually saying about the nation of Africa. I mean, the continent of Africa, or the nation of Ethiopia in general. He said they are not sure whether the Africans are actually can do it themselves or take care of their own problem. And he literally stated that word. I remember I was sitting and listening it. And this is creating an amazing precedence that the African Union, if you guys actually leave us alone, we can do it. And they have not left us alone, but we still did it with the pressure that we've been getting, under that pressure. The pressure comes economically, the pressure comes in so many forms, but still the ability to withstand the problems and actually coming through and hopefully that, that will go down in a more practical terms. We'll see it. Everything could be, but it really shows something that yes, we can achieve this. Yes, we can do it. And this is actually a great also another precedent for the youth, to your question, bringing it back to your questions, that we can manage our problems. Anything can be solved as long as there are actually conversation, as long as there are actually discussions. Anything can be solved without killing our own people. Who's killing our own people? We know that. Yes, the region of East Africa entirely is critically important for the, we know that. But if we really come together, if we can really come to our senses that we are given an abundance of human power, natural resources, and what have you resources, all we got to do is actually sit and listen, reflect, and then do it.
Yeah. I wanna impose one question there. One thing I wanna bring up one thing. So after what has happened, since you're in America, you're living there. The minister, this is what he said, right? Yeah. I think most of you maybe guys have seen this statement. This is, by the way, is our Swahili Nation Instagram account. You guys can follow us for more updates every single day. This is what he said. He said, following the ceasefire agreement between the Ethiopian government and the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, the U.S. Secretary of the State has welcomed the move. According to a statement from the Minister of Foreign Affairs that VOA obtained, Minister Anton said, we welcome the important step taken in Pretoria today to continue the African Union campaign to silence the guns by signing the cessation in the government of Ethiopia and the party of and all this stuff. I just want to, the question that I want to ask, if you guys have seen this statement, what is your thought on that?
Oh, I've heard, I believe this was actually stated the next day. This is what they really master at. Americans are really master in communicating on a number of levels, and this is a great example. And we know who is actually behind all of this, especially with the problem with the Ethiopians are actually going through. Not only America, of course, the European Union is actually playing a greater role on this one. And we know the TPLF is also really supported by I'm not trying to put actually any specific party under blame, but we know what was really done behind. So America, yes, America, like I was saying, the foreign ministers definitely can state that, because now what can they say? Because they the ones who are actually facilitating all of this, and it took them 8 days to come up with some sort of resolutions. But when the brilliance of America, if I can actually put it in such a way, is they know how they can actually get into the wagon of good. They really know how to get into that wagon and really celebrating it. But and from the background, we know what that can be done. I mean, we know the American policy when it comes to Africa that goes back into the 70s. The whole idea behind how they can actually policing the entire world. We know that, it's not even hidden. And we know how the Democrats and we know how the Republicans are actually behaving when it comes to the international policies. And specifically with the Democrats, to be honest with you. I'm a Democrat. I've been voting for Democrats for a while. They may be good in local politics, but when it comes to the international politics, it is not what it seems to what it seems to be like. Trust me. You know what they tell you in a face value and what's being done in the background is completely different. I can tell you straight up because I've lived it and I experienced it and I know how they're behaving. So we have to really understand the game of politics in general, and you know how we can communicate with them, especially when we were talking on international platforms. The ability to communicate yourself in a more polished, yes, but in a more confident way, in a more really that can really match up their understanding of our of what they are like, what the intentions behind the intent behind to any word. What they were saying is critically important. For that, you kind of have to understand their history in a way. So the problem with most African nations, maybe English may not be the word, maybe our culture may not be the kind of culture where we can actually speak our mind, but we really sensitive to our culture, to our means, the way how we communicate, and that doesn't exist in America, So the foreign ministers definitely can say that, but the truth to be told, we'll see it in the coming month. We'll see it in the coming year, because anything can be translated when it comes to, when we turn that into a practical and who's doing what and who's doing actually what influences. Of course, the Ethiopian governments are doing what they can because they've been doing it anyway. There's nothing new. For someone who's really following the politics for the last 2 years, they know exactly what the truths are anyways. So I admire what the TPLF actually had done, and I admire, of course, the Ethiopian government, and I've been following actually news around this theme. But the question is, I know the things that are actually start moving. It may not be smooth, it may be rough, but we have to actually really, because the option is really to engage it peacefully. And then doing it as much as we can. So I hope the youth are listening to this. I hope the future generations are actually listening, that we can actually solve our problem by, communicating with one another. In the end, we're gonna earn ourselves, So yes, it creates a beautiful precedent, that the African Union can actually, do it on their own. Of course, the world is talking about it now.
Yeah, it's a big news now.
It's a big news. They're talking about it because there is any president in the past that African Union actually took, this much of a problem such as this and solve it. So, so this is great. Just like the meeting that you were talking about. That's the beginning of actually the African youth meeting. The African youth is actually coming together and then talking about our own problem, on our own issues, so we can actually come up with our own solutions. That is a bright new solutions. So this is a high time for Africa, really.
This is brilliant. Nati, do you have any final thought you want to
add? It's interesting that you've just brought up Anthony Blinken, and there's a lot running through my mind, but I just want to put some of the things that's running in my mind, and I'm going to be very honest, and we've talked about it earlier on. With regard to Anthony Blinken's visit to Kenya, especially when the American government was agitating towards really moving in troops into Ethiopia, which is no different from what happened to Libya and Iraq. We need to understand that the American government has its own interest. With all due respect to Alpha Jacob, who is staying in the US. I've never been to the US, and please forgive my ignorance. At some point, if I make a blunder, I stand to be corrected. But I would like to say one point that America, looking at the Federalist paper, like the John Jays and the Madisons, is built on interest. The federalism is built on interest. And one of the things that pains me, and as Africans, when we talk about African interest, we are talking about the Black man's interest wherever we may be. We should not, and we should not take for granted that the Black man hailed from Africa, and wherever the Black man is suppressed and undermined, we need to feel it. The African interest extends beyond the Africa. So America is formed on interest. The fathers of federalism, or the writers of the Federalist paper, formed the Federalist state based on interest, not human person. That's why, if they had formed the the United States of America based on human being, we shouldn't be talking about Black Lives Matter in the 21st century. They should have been on the next level. We are still struggling for the rights of African Americans in the United States of America, and Black men are still segregated. So what I'm trying to say is interest moves the politics of Africa, which is completely contrary to the African concept of politics. It's mtu, umuntu, ubuntu, the human person, human being, a human person. That comes again and again and again. Man is at the center of the African politics, not interest. But of course, it was blundered at some point due to colonialism, and we're still struggling to come out of it. And I blame our fellow Africans for not getting back to their consciousness and reclaiming their identity. But it's a process. We believe in process. But Anthony Blinken is echoing the same interest with which the America was founded. What is in it for us? It may not be raw materials, gold or diamond now. We're talking about Africa being the battlefield of the East and the West. China is taking a grip of Africa, and we are losing it. Economic fight, economic interest. So it's not all about the people of Ethiopia. It's not about the people of Africa, but it's about upholding the American interest and making sure that America will still remain as the judge of morality and telling us what democracy is. And yet, we need to redefine democracy. It shouldn't be no longer the Greeks and the West defining democracy. We need to find out our own definition of democracy. What do we mean rule by the people for the people? How do we exercise our power? So Anthony Blinken, for me, with due respect, just moves from country to country with his own war agenda and destabilizing countries that are trade. So it is no longer about the Ethiopian or the African interest. That's why I say we need to determine and deal with our own interest, with our own people. So with all that that has been said, I think it's a high time that we need to reclaim who we are. We do not need to stand on this binarism of belonging and not belonging. Yes, we want to be independent, we want to be at peace, and yet we need the money to do that. So what do we do in this case? Let's negotiate some terms and conditions. It can't work. Ethiopia has been poor, and unless we do something about our own poverty, no one else by pouring money or telling us what to do can take us out of poverty. It is us who determine it, and it's us who are going to lift our finger to do something about it. Otherwise, I've suggested, like Dr. Dambiza Moyo said, aid killed Africa. It's a dead aid. Aid has been always decapacitating us, not taking us. If it was for all the aids, Africa would be by now very far. Rather, it's crippling us down. So I think we need to get back to our own and reclaim our own and get back to our own consciousness and find our own solution on our own path. That's what I would suggest. Anything else should come second. The human person should come first. Solving our own problem by our own people, putting people at the center of our own political movements. No one should die, no one should starve, no one should be lacking things while we have all the resources. And we need to get back to our own identity, finding solution on our own. This binarism of belonging here and not belonging is devastating us. That's why our educated people, African intellectuals, get frustrated because they have all it takes, and yet they feel they cannot do anything. So they prefer the brain drain instead of coming back and working for their own people. So this binarism needs to stop, and we need to stand on our feet and fight and be resilient to whatever comes as a consequence. Thank you.
Appreciate so much, Nat. I'll invite you, Professor, as well, for your final thought on that, if you want to add or challenge or whatever.
Oh, now, okay. No, I think we are saying the same thing in a different way, and I am completely understanding what the gentleman was actually saying. I'm sorry I didn't get his name, but
Nathaniel is my name, sir.
Nathaniel?
Yes, Nati. You can call me Nati. Yeah.
Nati, hey, how are you? Good, good.
Good.
So, no, I agree entirely. Everything is actually driven by some sort of interest. And when it comes to America, no question about it. It is entirely on interest, but it goes back into the idea of capitalism. The whole idea was conceived. That's the capitalism definitely is for profit. When you're really, everything is actually for profit, it goes into anything. It definitely permeates into a number of elements, and politics being the most primary one. And yes, for Africa, it needs to be human-centered. We want it to be that, no question about it. And of course, the Americans also saying it in pursuit of happiness. Everything is in the pursuit of happiness. What does happiness basically means? How did happiness can be, is it economical or is it a human element to it? Where is the balance? How could we actually find the balance, the sweet balance that really work for any culture, any nations? It's the most critical one. We don't necessarily have to follow a specific philosophy or a specific way of achieving something. But really, any nation definitely would have a number of culture, but we need to find that sweet balance that actually bring everyone into some sort of agreement where we can actually use that for our politics, where we can use that in order to actually sustain life, where we can actually use it to a number of things. So, for Africa, if human-centered, or for a nation of Tanzania or Uganda or Congo or Ethiopia or Eritrea for that matters, we need to find that. That's why we need to sit and talk about it. That's why we need to come together and then really conversate that. What really, what can bring an idea that actually brings us together. And then really forge, our thinking based on that, consciousness, based on that, element that we were going for. That's why we need to discuss. That's why we need to talk. And the beauty of actually bringing those youth for African Union, it really brings, those issues to light. What do we want as a continent? What do we want as a nation? And how do we go about it? Because the world is changing. It may not be the same, than a decade ago or a decade before. So conversation like this, a platform like this, an African Union, bringing the youth, to a discussion like this definitely help enrich, what we want to go. How do we tackle our problems? Problems are definitely creating an opportunity, because this, yes, it was really, really murkier, the one that we had in Ethiopia for the past 2 years. But if it's actually bringing something new that we don't keep, killing ourselves, and that's wonderful. We know what Rwanda went through, we know what Rwanda are actually have gone. And then we know, the kind of, direction that they're heading right now, whether you agree or not, but at least way better than obviously 30 years ago. So in any case, I agree. Yeah. This interest, America is definitely looking for her interest. That's why, the nation of, that's why this country is actually everywhere, policing, the entire world. Things are changing. We know what's happening, the dynamics of the politics between the East and West. It may not actually going to continue. They will adapt. They are good in adapting anyway. So we got to do our own. We have to stand for ourselves and really answer the prominent question, which means, question of sustenance. What Ethiopians are actually doing right now. Self-sufficiency, in other words, economically. We got to be, we have the land, we have the resources. And I'm glad that prime ministers are actually taking on such a grandeur, work, really, planting all the seeds, and that definitely predicate to, agricultural products. And hopefully that's going to turn into some small agro industry, and that leads to our actual technology and what have you. Really, and this is really what we need anyways.
Gentlemen, I really appreciate for all of your contribution. It means a lot hearing, what you guys are thinking. I'm just gonna, let you go for now. I have other people waiting on the line.
Thank you.
And yeah, I hope we'll keep following, this stream. Maybe there might be questions to you, gentlemen, who are here already. So I think I will, you can come back anytime if that happens. Okay. But I really appreciate Alpha Jacob. Thank you, Professor, for joining us, and welcome to the family. And our brother Nat, I really appreciate it once again. It's really good to see you.
It was good.
I'll see you soon in Tanzania.
I think that we're gonna have all these discussions, but it's good. It just happened to be good.
Exactly. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Prof. Nice meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you as well. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Right. So before I go on YouTube, I have requests here on TikTok as well. I'm just gonna allow this guy. He's been here for a long time, and then I'll come back to you guys. Tesfaye Shiferau. Hey, what's up, my brother? How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to have you here. I think you've been here last week.
Oh yeah.
You're
in Ethiopia right now?
Yeah, I'm in Addis Ababa.
Oh, I am here too as well. So how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Before this platform, I have been watching your YouTube, and I see your video reaction on some songs of Ethiopian as well as other African countries.
Yes. I appreciate that.
I like it.
For the support and for the love as well.
Yeah, I like your energy to empower Africans. This is what we need, especially the youngsters need to promote our culture, to promote our songs, and whatever we have.
Yeah, indeed. So what is your contribution to the question of today? Is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent updates? And if there is, what is that?
Yeah, as you learn from the history, Ethiopia is just example for other African countries especially when it comes to the pressure from other continents. And we've been doing a lot, and we've been contributing a lot to just keep the dignity of African as well as the independent state of Ethiopia. And what we like is just not talking about the history of Ethiopia. It is having brothers like you to join us and get very strong African nation. And what we are lacking here is that some other African countries do not care who they are. This is a problem. You know, as you know, we have been through many challenges, especially in these 4 or 5 years. But the problem is that we are now finding those neighboring countries who are supporting us to face the challenge we are fighting. And you know, as we are saying before some years, we are fighting for the fight of Africa. And then we need to unite as most of you are saying this, especially last time. Even I have been watching your videos, and you say that we have to be united, and we have to have a single passport, African passport, and maybe single currency that we all African use together. But the problem is we don't have common agenda. We need to work on that. And this kind of agenda should be consistent. And we have started, and this is very good start. And most of you are doing very well. Even I regret that I missed the chance to attend that meeting. It was very amazing. You guys were raising very good ideas. It was amazing. And such kind of agendas help us to go forward, because it's very obvious that the world we are living in is the world of competition. It can be natural that there might be pressure from other continents, maybe Europe, maybe US, or other continents. So the problem is knowing that we Africans simply see that fitting. That doesn't work. We need to work hard. We need to fight. We need to come together and have our common agendas. Especially other states, other continents do have common agendas. For example, Europe do have common. They are very strong. For example, European Union have very strong union, and they do have very strong arguments and also agendas, especially to win the competition in the world. But here in Africa, we are very careless and we don't care. So we have to come together and work together.
I think I understood you to SPY. And in one thing that I wanna push back a little bit. I think it's the problem in almost all African countries. You know, you were talking about. You know, Ethiopia has been in a difficult situation for 4 or 5 years, and the problem is that, you know, you don't see that enough support from other African countries. You know, it's the same thing that is going on in Congo right now. That Congo, they are also in a very difficult situation going through right now. But the same thing again, you don't really see other African, particularly. You know, just forget about East Africa because they have East African community. So I've seen, you know, some of the countries sending troops there, but you don't see the support from other countries. And I think that's why we are fighting for one Africa, because, you know, whenever and whatever country in Africa, any country in Africa is going through anything, I think Africa should stand together in solidarity to support that. But also, I think in this case, apart from all the countries and everything, let's also remember, because the question is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update? I think what we have to learn right now is that African Union stepped in, you know, eventually at the end. It took a while, but at least they stepped in at the end. And when you're talking about African Union, you're talking about the entire Africa, like 55 different countries. And right now we have this peace treaty that we are trying to work on to stabilize everything. So in that, I think we see that at the end, Africa step up and through African Union and to reconcile these two sides. And now I think the work is on us, you and me, people that are living here, to make sure that we preserve that and we don't go back to where it used to be. To make sure that we're careful on what we are treating, we're careful on what we are saying, we're careful on how we are accusing one another, because these are kind of things that can elevate things to the another level that we don't want to go. So I want to appreciate you so much, Tesfaye, for your thoughts and contribution. I'm going to let you go for now, and I'm going to allow somebody else to come and to share as well.
Right. Just you can inbox me. Just I will send you my number, WhatsApp, and we do have some agendas. We do have burning issues that all users of Africa should be engaged in, and we will work together. And nice to have you, brother. And we can meet. By the way, we can meet, and I will be meeting you on Monday.
I appreciate this, fine.
Send me your number.
Appreciate, my brother.
Okay.
All right. I'll have King Will here. He has been waiting here for a long time on my YouTube just to hear his thoughts. Hey, King Will, my brother, welcome. It's good to see you. The question today is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update? If you can jump right in to answer that question, I would appreciate that.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, brother.
Oh, super. First of all, I'm happy to see you again. It's a long time. You have been having a lot of fun in Ethiopia, and we have been having some images. Very nice, beautiful. Indeed, there have been a history of 100 years change for African continent, and not only for Africans, for everybody in the world. Since the war in Ethiopia, the circle have been closed. The war begins somewhere in Afghanistan and closed in Europe, in Ukraine. And that's with a huge achievement for the whole world. Even African presidents didn't know that we Africans were dependent from Russia. We never knew that. So Africans, we had a huge progress. We have made a huge progress in every sense. And coming to the topic about what Africans learned is that we, through these complications, we come to find out our identity, because as you see, the pressure that have been applying on our country, on Ethiopia, it shows us the real face of the world, where we are and what are our future and our chance. And more gifts you cannot expect from the world. We have the chance now to make our way, and the way Ethiopian government did handle the situation, and that this pressure, how brought the African continent together, and all of these aspects bring Africans to think what is our next step. If you remember, before some months in one of your program, I have mentioned you where are the organization of Africans, youth and students, one of the main key point. And just before 2-3 days, in Addis Ababa gathered the first youth meeting. So you see, this is one of the key points for the African development. And everything what we are doing in Ethiopia, what is carried out in Ethiopia, it will be spread out in all Africa, and from other African countries as well. So African countries, there are we can divide it in two things. We humans, we have to differentiate when we think about society, about country, about humans. The human wealth, human security, human life is one thing, and individual development is another thing. for the country development. It means the security of everybody. That's why we need social development. We need school. We need hospitals. For that sake, we need law and order, security, social development, schools, hospitals. And all these things can only happen when we all work for happening of the order and the state matters. So African countries, mostly they are neglected when it comes about the country security, economy. I mean, economy is a security, you know. Neglectants, they exist, but they don't, at the end of the year, they don't ask what I have achieved, what I have not. They don't you know, they don't make their calculations. Like now in our country, Dr. Abiy, he's proposing some projects, and that project it will be fulfilled at the end of the year or at the end of the given time. When it is not concluded, it will be discussed how much was the achievement and the loss. So everything with clarity. And this development, like today I heard even some students from South Sudan have been given scholarship to Ethiopia University. So this kind of development are very essential. And African development, not only as African, as human development, as anything, it is very essential, and that is the neglectance of the most African continent have been suffering about. So Africans have really learned a lot from all of these things. Not only the complication, it's the matter. The matter is how we have been attacked. We are not expecting from nobody nothing. Some people say, and they didn't help us. Nobody is there to help us. We have to help ourselves. We have enough resources. For instance, if you come to calculate in any matter, whatever you like, you will wonder how much do you need from others. There are countries that are as big as one province in Africa, and they are one of the biggest producers of the world food. In anything, they are successful. And African countries have 1,000 times more than these countries. One country like Congo is as huge as the whole Europe, maybe. They are very huge countries, very huge resources. But people, they live with their mentality of poorness. We, in the last 60 years, the continent have been, lived with the mentality of poorness. This mentality is sickness. This should be washed out first before you come further. So what I want to tell you is the way the African country we are going is everything is very calculated. You have to know everything you do. The relation you have with external countries should be diminished. You don't need it. You don't need to buy many things. You have to recognize what you have, and you have to work with what you have. If you want to export to Europe anything, the European continent will not let you export, because you are.
Do you mind to round up as well your point?
Yes. Anyway, what I'm telling you is that you have to have a defined social and economical political plan. This is already known. There are countries who already run it, and Ethiopia have been behind that fence already 40, 50 years. We know it all. So you have to apply, and there is nothing we need from others. We have to just keep our border closed, and there is your success. So we Africa, we have learned in this complication, of course, there have been a lot of things to be learned, and getting together with our strengths. And thank you for your time.
Appreciate Kenny Will for your thoughts and for your voice as well. I believe Africa is listening. And I'm gonna let you go right now. And before I bring BJ, we're gonna have a very quick break, and we'll be back. Hey, BJ, it's good to have you, BJ, again for another day. Appreciate for joining and for always being there. Yeah, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's everything going?
Everything is going fine. The weather here is beautiful. Yeah, you know, my days to leave this place is approaching, and it's a little sad, but I'm still happy because I'm going to another country in Africa. As long as it's Africa, it's beautiful.
I mean, it's always everything that you do is just so.
BJ, she must be having some issues.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, no, I said everything that you do is so amazing. We're just listening in, and what we have to understand is always we can keep the conversation going, but we always have to move forward with those conversations. We can't get lost in rhetoric or discussion because, you know, everyone else is moving. And if we stay at the table for too long, you know, life is passing us by. So we have to always remember we have to connect our stories. We have more things in common than the differences, and we can't get lost in the differences in our conflicts.
That's it, BJ?
Yeah.
You always surprise me. Like, you always end as if you just started to speak. So I'm always when you finish, I'm like, is that the end or the beginning? You just drop the bomb and that's it.
Well, I always try to, you know, like, you know, I know how the Western games, and we get so lost in words, and how we all have that common conflict of, you know, just listening to things that's going on in South America, things that's going on here, and then looking at what you guys are dealing with over there, and it's the same. It's like the same chess piece, same chess move is always being enacted on all of us. And we, because we're innately God's people, we always looking for, you know, a way of resolving issues because he lives in us. And we're always trying to do it his way. So we're always trying to do things the right way. But in doing that, we also have to remember that we've all been manipulated. So we're always trying to figure out, you know, how not to get, you know, the okie doke over and over and over again, you know. And I just love what has happened in Ethiopia. It's like it's showing us the way of how to resolve those conflicts the right way so that we all can win. You know, and not be manipulated into, you know, doing things that's going to be to our own demise.
Yeah. You know, since today I'm covering up for Biggie, our brother Biggie. You know, he's having his own show. He was supposed to have his own show for, you know, diaspora, and he has an emergence, and I'm here to cover that. I want to ask you this question. So, do you think these things that are happening, they are related to what's happening right now in Haiti? And if you can shed the light a little bit of, if you know what is happening in Haiti, to kind of like to share with our audience so that we may be aware of what's going on there.
And can you expound a little bit on which topic? Because there's so much going on. So I'm like, I don't want to just answer it without like focusing on, what the topic is really want to expound on.
Basically, the interference, what we are talking about, most of the time we've seen in the conflict here in the,
you mean like with Somalia?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of updates going on there, and today I saw the one of the comments that I think there were people there as well, and that things are happening, and I think we need to kind of like shed the light a little bit of what's happening then.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. I mean, the thing is that coming from our perspective, America, always has several chess moves. The West always has several chess moves. So again, if they're coming over to Somalia, they're looking for any way to get boots on the ground. So now they want to shed a light on, they never forget. They never forget. And what happened, if you look at what happened over in Somalia years ago, they're just looking for a way to come in. Now that many of your countries are starting to say, wait a minute, we could do this ourselves. We don't need, like Rwanda is now standing up for itself and saying, no, we don't need you guys here. They're going to always try to find any back door to come in. So if you remember so many years ago in Somalia, you had Black Hawk Down. Don't think they forgot about that. Don't think they forgot about those conflicts back then. And if you give them an inch to come into your front side door, they're going to blow the whole door down. And they'll use any kind of rhetoric, any kind of seed to put out there to say, well, we really, because, these different conflicts, and we can't forget about what was that not just last year when you had the issue with the freighter that got sort of stuck in the middle of the canal, which caused all of that the commerce could not come through, and it caused a huge problem. And it took them a long time to move their freighter and get it to be able to turn the right direction, and that cut off the transport of goods from Asia into Europe. So you got to understand, their chess move is not just one. So if they get a hold into Somalia, and that allows them to get boots on the ground, then, because again, all they've been talking about all summer is we need to widen the canal so that the two ships can come in and out, so we won't have that again. And we're on if you look at the globe on the map, is not Somalia the key spot to be to just alleviate all those problems? Because there's never one. Anytime they say one thing, they're thinking five chess moves ahead. Why all of a sudden it's on the map again? Why all of a sudden, we feel there's a conflict there? Because now they already knew that things were going to be resolved in Tigray. So we need. And Kenya, it seemed like they're saying, we're okay over here. Where else can we land some boots?
Yeah. Well, Vijay, I really appreciate for your insight and your thoughts, always appreciated. And yeah, I'm gonna let you go now and have anyone else want to join and to raise their voice.
Oh, thank you so much. You take care. Hopefully you guys will stay on this path to unity, one Africa.
Always.
Doesn't mean that just because you say one does not mean it silences your different perspective. It means, we stand together and not against each other.
Yes.
So thanks again for having me, and thank you for all that you do for us, Mika.
Appreciate Vijay. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Always.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you for being with me. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, our people must come together, wherever you guys are at, whether you are inside the continent or outside of the continent. We all need to come together. If you believe you have African descendants, if you believe Africa is your home, then you have no other choice than to come together with your brothers and sisters, wherever you are. It's a time to gather our people. It's the time to gather our people. Wherever you are, guys, fine. Even if you need to search, like to look, where are the Africans? Where? Look, find them. Don't hide yourself in your own room. Don't be alone. Don't stay alone. Find our people. We need to bring our people back together. We need to bring our community back together. This is how we were raised. This is how Africa used to be. Whatever you are. So sometimes it could be really difficult. I remember the first time I went to Korea, in the city that I was living, you could barely find Africans. Of course, we had students in the university, but apart from that, it was none. But you know what we did? We were always together. Always together. Find your people. At the end of the day, this is your home. And we need to bring our people together. That's one Africa we're talking about. We need to bring it together. And that's including you guys outside of the continent, because you're one of us. You're us. We always say this, that I was not born in Africa, but Africa was born in me. It's the very famous quote that we always talk about. Africa was born in you. Africa is in you. You are Africa. Understand that? You are Africa. You are the motherland. So let's come together, whatever we are. Let's come together. That's the only secret, man. All right. I'm gonna go here to TikTok. I have also the request here. I'm just gonna bring in the question is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update? So since we have a huge number of people who wants to come and talk, be precise, direct to the point, share your opinion, and then we'll allow other people as well to talk. All right. I think that's beautiful. All right. I have Sabian Ethiopia has been here waiting for so long time. Let's hear from him. Hey, what's up, brother? How are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Mika. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for being patient. I've seen here for so long, and I was like, we're gonna have to allow Mr. Sabian to come and to share his opinion.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say quick few words, and I'm gonna go out. Just I didn't know you before the African Union speech, and I went back to your channels and to your first videos, and I watched your first video. It was in Korea, I think. Okay. And I saw that you were happy to find the names of the Africans that fought in the war in the Korea, and it's just amazing. And I was surprised to find some African who was explaining our culture and Ethiopianness, Africanness. And I was just amazed. I just want to say, to bring my point about the question, and I want to say things we can learn from these developments in Ethiopia is, first thing is persistence. And we must learn to follow the process of the African Union. Of course, it was a long arrangements. The two parties didn't agree on the first terms, but at the end, persistence and things came through. So in regards to these developments, we must, all African countries like Uganda, Tanzania, all, even Somalia, what they can learn from this is peace and security. The other thing is we must get our things in order, our affairs in order, economic policies and other uniting things. The other one is like we must prioritize our African culture and our Africanness, because most of us, like most of the people that are living in their countries, poor people, they just want to have their countries as, second wives, because if they get the opportunity to live abroad, like in Canada or in America, they'll leave their country and just move abroad to a better country, to find a better means of living. But instead of that, we have to find a way to make our reality, our country, a better place. That's what I think. Yeah. And before I go, I just want to say I'm very happy that you're in Ethiopia. Are you in Ethiopia currently?
I am in Ethiopia.
Where are you staying?
I can't say that, but I am right here. I am at Addis Ababa. I can say the city.
Yeah, okay. I'm just asking because there's many places, like instead of just sitting in Addis and just going back to Tanzania, you have to visit other parts of the country. I'm in Addis also. I was born and raised here, but there are other places to see. Like you have to see other economic places, just like Hawassa, Bahar, and
brother, you just gonna need. I understand you found me recently, but you're gonna need to watch my videos to see where I've been. This is my third time to be in Ethiopia, and I've been in a lot of places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That can be your homework. I'm not gonna tell you where I've been, but go and check out our videos. And next time when we have this stream right here, I'll ask you. You can come in. I'll ask you how many places I visited in Ethiopia.
Yeah, I saw a video that you went to Lalibela and he explained to you some stuff about the churches, the Orthodox churches.
Oh, no.
I saw that you were amazed.
No, I didn't go to Lalibela yet. I did reaction about Lalibela, but I haven't visited Lalibela yet. So you just go and do the homework, and then we'll have this conversation again. What do you say?
I just want to say one thing, and I'll go, okay?
All right.
I really love the idea of an African passport and the African currency.
Yes.
But it's just, at this point, it's just a concept talking. We didn't move to action phase, right? We just discussed the ideas. We just think it's better if you have African passports and African currencies, but we didn't dive deep to the actual issues and plan out the action phase. So what are your thoughts about making this thing a reality?
Well, actually, it is the reality, African passport. It is the reality because we have already African Union passport, but our people don't have it. There's just few people who have
only
African Union passport.
Right?
So it was introduced in 2012, and 16, and it was supposed to be distributed to everybody in 2018. but the process didn't, you know, it didn't. I mean, we didn't reach there. So it is the reality. That's why right now we are pushing for that agenda, even suggesting that we are ready to pay for it if the problem is finance, so that we may have one Africa passport, because it's that important.
Yeah. Before I go, I just want to ask you just one last question, please.
All right. Okay. Be faithful, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All no right. Problem. What is the most surprising thing that you found coming to Ethiopia?
Oh man, you know what? Please go and do that homework, because I think I've said that so many times in a lot of my videos. Go do that homework, and you find all those questions you're asking me right now. It's a lot.
Could you
if I say that right now, I'm not. If I say that right now, Sabian, I mean, we're gonna be diverging from the topic that I'm asking here, and there's a lot of people who wants to contribute to that. So I appreciate for that, and yeah, we can keep in touch.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, brother. I'll see you another time. Okay. Let me have. Oh, I have my brother here. Wait. Before that, I have someone else here on TikTok. I've been waiting for a while. Let's hear. Direct again. Let me remind this again, guys. Is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update? That's the question. So I understand that you might want to say a lot of stuff, but in order to allow other people to talk as well, let's be precise and right to the point to answer the question, and then we'll give opportunity to other people as well to share. All right, I have FMAZB. Hey, hello, how are you? Welcome to the show. Hello? Okay, I guess he's gone. Yes. Let's have, this one, another person was here. Hey, hello. I cannot really read your name, but I see you. Welcome to the show. You're connecting. I'd love to hear your contribution to this question that I imposed here. Again, if you're joining right now and maybe you're not a member of this family, if you want to join membership, please go ahead, do so. If you want to like, if you want to share this video, please do so, and it will highly appreciate. All right. Still connecting. I don't know why. All right. So let me go to, I have Abdul Salam Getahun, another one right here. Hey, hello, brother. Where are you joining from? And do you have anything that you'd like to contribute?
Hello.
Yes, hello. Abdul Salam.
How are you, Mika?
Salam Ned.
Salam Ned.
I'm good, my brother. Where are you calling from?
I'm good. First of all, I want to say I really, really appreciate what you do.
Appreciate.
I've been following you since back 3 years before or something, since you were reacting on the music and some. So it's been a while since I followed you. And I really, really appreciate the love that you have for Africa, and for Ethiopia, and for all the black people, brother. I really appreciate that.
Yes. I appreciate my brother. It's hard to hear you, I think, because maybe you're moving a lot. It's kind of like hard to hear what you're saying.
Okay, what about now?
Okay. I can hear you.
Yeah, so I really appreciate you for what you do as an Ethiopian and as a black person in Africa. So I want you to keep doing that. We want more of you, really. I really do. I really do follow you. Like seriously, day to day.
I appreciate, brother.
I've always what you do, what you post, and what you feel about Africa. So
yeah,
the same feeling is here too. And do not take so time for others. I want to say something about this discussion. What you say was, what can we learn from Ethiopia, right?
Yeah, well, can we learn from the recent updates? What just happened couple days ago with the peace treaty? What can we learn from that?
Yeah, from that, like, if African peoples really look into what just happened in Ethiopia and African Union in South Africa, the negotiation or the peace talk, whatever, it is really a big step for Africa. If we really see it through, if we focus what just happened, that's how we can stand by ourselves. That's how we start to stand for one another. So if we do this, there is no way that the neocolonialism works in Africa. If we eat, if we supply our foods, like what you have seen recently in Ethiopia, the wheat production, if we eat, if we love one another, it doesn't matter whether Ethiopia develop alone. That doesn't go far. It should be we should be developing with Tanzania, with Kenya, with Somalia, with Djibouti, with Eritrea, and the other parts of Africa. But we should start from the neighbors, because we cannot accomplish that as an Africans. No country can develop alone. We should stay together. We should protect each other. We should import and export what we produce to each other. As you said, a lot of times I hear you saying we should be having the passport, African passport, and we should be importing and exporting our products, and the currency should be like African currency, if we can. So if there is food supply, if we don't need humanitarian aid or food programs, whatever, from the UN, if we are supplying our food for our own, if we protect each other, if we solve our problems by Africans, that's the real country, the real organization that can feel African pain is the association that is composed by Africans, or that is run by Africans. What do the foreigners know about us? Nothing other than their own whatever you call it, the profit, or what they see in our country, or the resources. So we should stand to each other, is what I say, Mika.
Yeah.
As an African, we should. So I wish the other countries of Africa follow Ethiopia too. I don't know what's up in Ethiopia. Like, I don't know whether our leader is young, that we are seeing a lot of change right now in Ethiopia. I don't know if we should, or if we wish to change other African countries' leaders by youth. I don't know, really. But what from Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, what you can see is the love for his country, the love for Africa. Even you can say it is similar feeling that he has for Africa as he loved his country.
Appreciate Abdul
As you seen
Salam.
recently. Yeah.
I appreciate Abdul Salam. I'm gonna have to let you go because I still have more people waiting.
Yeah,
here.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them a chance. So I want to say, keep it up, okay, bro?
Thank you so much.
Watching.
And thank you for your support. It means a lot. Thank you so much for standing with us. And thank you for always being there.
Brother.
It's good talking to you.
Okay. Have
Thank
a
you,
good time.
I love you, brother.
Love you too.
All right. All right, I have Intruder here. Intruder, your name is quite intimidating, but I choose not to be intimidated. All right, and I will bring you in because recently we've been having a lot of intruders on our YouTube channel. So let me hear you out. The question is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update? What just happened this week? That's the question. So I would appreciate if you dive into that. Intruder. How are you?
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I've just seen you. You just intrude my session today.
Oh my God. It's been a pleasure to see you. I mean, to talk to you. Technically, my name is Jonas. So I've seen your video when you were visiting Gonda University, and I'm the student of Gonda University. I think that was a good day to see you there. And I've seen you, but I can't talk to you at that time. So I'm glad you. Yeah, you have been in Gonda, right?
Yeah, I've been in Gonda, but why you didn't talk to me and you saw me?
No, yeah, I know. But you were in another campus. I'm in Chedros campus, and you've visiting the Maraki campus, social students, and I think you have been studied in Korea, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so I saw that video, and I've been appreciating all of your ideas. So I think you have been saying, why don't we have our own passports? Why don't Africa stand together? Why don't we unite together? And I've been thinking, what about the study also? I mean, the learning system. I think there, it Erasmus Mundus, that scholarship. So I think 34 or 35 countries unite together and give a scholarship for their students, and also for African and other country students. So why we Africans do such things? Not only passport, not only the currency. So why shouldn't we? We can do anything. We have gold, we have diamond, we have animals, everything. We have a lot more than anyone. So why shouldn't we cooperate together rather than the passport and the money and the currencies though? So I think we have the opportunity to do that. And I've been appreciating all of your ideas. So it's a pleasure to see you and just to talk to you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate Jonas. That means a lot. And I'm glad to know that you are actually a student of Gonda University. It was really a beautiful time connecting with young, brilliant, Africans with so much vision. And I can tell from you, talking here that you're the same as well. So pleasure to hear you and to hear your opinion. I appreciate you, my brother. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you. And I'm on your side, so do whatever you have to do. And that will be a pleasure, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. My greetings to Gonda students, all right? I miss you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you have met us, so one day I will talk to you personally.
I appreciate it. I would love that. I'd love that. Yeah, finger crossed.
Okay. Thank you.
I appreciate it, brother. I had somebody here joining me on YouTube, but he just left. So I cannot really do anything about that. But let me just say this, because I think we had enough chance on TikTok as well as here on YouTube. I'll give you guys my opinion to the same question that I asked, and then I'll be closing this session and get out of here. You better react on YouTube videos. You know what? Actually, now I'm thinking about opening another YouTube channel affiliation to Swahili Nation, but that will be strictly and specifically for reaction videos. So I'm thinking about doing that, but I need to balance my time and everything. So yeah, maybe very soon you'll be, because I've seen a lot of demand for the reactions. We used to do reaction back in the days, and the reason why I don't do reaction through this channel, because some of those reactions that I did 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I've been receiving strikes today.
All right. And if you get 3 strikes, you lose your YouTube channel, you use your platform. So that's why I stopped, because you can't really trust some people. They just don't want you to use their copyright. All right. Even though we tried our best to ask to send requests before reactions, and some of them accepted, some of them they didn't, some of them they stay quiet. You know, we reacted, and you know, we face consequences a lot of times. So that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing reaction. But I only do reaction when Teddy Afro, of course, releases a song. We gotta stop and do reaction. And of course, my brother Rufnan, you know, when he does, I do that as well. And of course, if you have like, you know, very legends here in Ethiopia, like Gigi and some others, you go ahead and do reaction. You know, so you know, hopefully, you know, soon, you know, when God wishes. I don't say if, because I know He will wish. When God wishes, you know, we'll come up with another account specifically for reactions videos. All right, because that's how you guys got to know us, and I see a lot of need. Like people are just requesting again and again and again that vibe of reaction. Yeah, I hope we'll have a time to do that. So no promises today, but I started to think about it, I guess, like 2 days ago, yesterday. Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking about it. Yeah. Everybody who came here today to contribute your opinion, it means a lot. As I said at the beginning, we are the voice to the muteless. And, you know, it's your decision to stay muted or to speak out. You know, it's your decision. That's what I decided. Just start speaking out. Before I start doing these live streams, I was just doing reaction. But one day, actually, somebody who actually, I was inspired to do a live stream because of this one channel of, you know, I was thinking today, my international club that I support, all right, that I'm a big fan of it, is, I know, I'm talking about Africanism, but, you know, we all have things that we love. I love soccer, so I support Manchester United, right? And I started to support a long time ago when I saw, when Christian joined, like long time ago, and he joined. And so I've always been really big fan of CR7 everywhere he goes and every time, you know, I would support that, right? And yesterday I was thinking about it. I was like, why do I love Manchester United? Let me ask you guys a question. Why? For the first time yesterday, I realized that it is, of course, I love Christian, I love it, but it is because of the word united. For the first time yesterday, I realized that. I was like, why not Manchester City? Why not Chelsea? Why not Arsenal? Why not all these other? Why Manchester United? And we always have this one say, we say, we are united. We have that say. And it's like, oh, it's because it's united. I realized that yesterday. I've been supporting for a long time. I've been in love with that team for so long time. Even when Cristiano left, I kept supporting it. Even when we were having really bad season, I kept supporting it. But then yesterday I realized that unconsciously, my heart has always been attracted towards unity. And I like unconsciously. So it portrays in every single thing, in my hobbies, in what I do. I share with you guys before with my family, like how, you know, I bring my family together and we talk together on the phone for a couple hours. We pray for one another. We share with one another. And I share with you guys, you know, when I was in South Korea and different leadership positions that I had, always, you know, bring people together. I started different movements. I remember in one of the church that I was attending, and I started this overnight prayer just to come together and just to pray. You know, they're still doing up to today, right? And they don't even know who started it, but, you know, I was there, and, you know, and different gathering, you know, different, you know, concert at the end of the month, you know, worship nights, you know, at that time, you know, I started that, you know, there just to bring people together and to enjoy, you know. I've shared with you guys a video before when I went to South Korea, and I realized that there's a little bit spirit of individualism. People, they don't want to help one another. And so I created a song, Together We're Gonna Make It Happen. And I played here. So the song, the chorus, it says, together we are fighting forever. We're gonna make it happen. Unit and cooperation. This is our mission. We join hands together, yeah, and nothing goes wrong. I wrote that song in 2013 when I got to Korea. And I brought together all international students. I taught them this song. I gave every single line to every single international students who were there in that particular university. And we stand together on the stage. We sang together. In 2013, my mission started a long time ago. My calling, it was for a long time ago. And I'm so glad, and I feel I'm blessed to understand, to figure out my mission, that my mission is to unite my people. A lot of people, they're telling me that this is a big mission, Mika. How are you going to do it? I'm just going to bring people together as I've always been bringing people together. And God is with us, so everything is possible. Hashtag One Africa, our generation. Hashtag One Africa, One Passport. Hashtag Swahili Nation. All right, so let me give you guys my opinion. Okay. Is there anything to learn from Ethiopia's recent update? At the beginning of this year, we say that 2022, we had two policies that we set for ourselves. First thing, we are going to be brutally honest with ourselves. Second, this is going to be a year of action. Love in action, peace in action, and unity in action. So every single thing that we have done in 2022, and we are approaching nearly the end of this year, we have been brutally honest with ourselves. If it's something that we need to address to our Africans, brothers and sisters, we have done that. If it's something we need to applaud, we have done that regardless of the criticism and the backlash. Second, the year of action. We have been putting on actions in our words. What we say is what we act. And now, as I'm saying, we have the very first project of smart farming that we want to do. We're going to actualize in Tanzania, hopefully at the early next year, 2023. Smart farming, because we want to have food security for our people. And I came here to Ethiopia. I went to Adama. I met with the amazing, brilliant men. And let me show you here, just to show you the trailer, because we made a trailer. And if you haven't seen that video, please go. That was the main reason why I came here, to learn, so that when I go back to Tanzania, which is very soon, I will go there to actualize these, what I have learned from successful thing. And I want to say this before I share this trailer. I want to say this. I know a lot of people, they say that, you know, I see these comments all the time. All right, people say that this is propaganda. This is propaganda. This is propaganda. I don't know, how do you define propaganda? I don't know how do you define. I don't know how people can think like that. That to be the second country in Africa to produce a lot of wheat, it can be a propaganda. So what do you want? Do you want, if there's a fighting going on and people are dying, do you want us not to produce anymore? Do you want us not to create anymore? Do you want that? Do you want that for your people? Do you want that for your country? So when I say things like this, people, they jump into conclusion again and again. Oh, again. It's a propaganda. I do not understand. Like, I don't understand, how are we thinking? Like, how are we using our mind, our brain to think? These are real development. Other countries in Africa, they wish to have something like this. They wish to have initiative like this, that a leader can say, we're going to do this, and carry it all the way to the end and make it happen. Other Africans wish for that to happen. And you say it's a propaganda. Man, I have a huge respect, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm always neutral. I will always be neutral. I will always say that Swahili Nation One Africa is a platform, is a foundation that is dealing with the people, man. We are raising people from the bottom up, but I'm not going to be hypocrite. I have a huge respect. And I'll tell you what is my opinion, because you have to see what has been happening for the past 2 years in Ethiopia. You have to see who has been behind what. You have to see attacks from every side. You have attacks from every corner, and you're the only one standing, yet you're still moving forward. Man, these things are the evidence of what we need in Africa. No leader in Africa is going to do 100% right everything. No one. You have to know that. Me, I don't do 100% things right. I don't do it. And don't sit there and think that I'm a hero. I don't do everything right, guys. I have my faults. I have my mistakes. I don't listen sometimes, even though I want to listen. That's human nature. That's us human beings. That's why we need God every single day. But do not, you know what? Let me say this. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. You are the one that you're bringing your own country down. Don't say that, it's the West, it's the West. No, it's you. You who are sitting there and say that, oh, this is a propaganda. This is a propaganda. There's a lot of good initiative. Man, I'm in this country. This is the third time. I'm always amazed when I come here. You can tell me that, oh, you don't know deep root, you don't know issues. Man, I've been following along this country, what's going on for 3 years now. I'm not a YouTube clickbait. I'm not. I've been following along with everything, seeing that for 3 years. And today we're here at this age. You still have people who they have guts to say, it's a propaganda, it's a propaganda. You are the one that you're bringing your own country down, not Westerners, you. They don't have that authority unless you give it to them. So you say that, that's what BBC says, that's what CNN says, that's what Al Jazeera says. It's a propaganda. That's why my message when I was coming to Ethiopia this time, I had just two agendas. First, focus on the light. Second, remember who you are. Focus on the light because there's so much propaganda is what you are saying, not what is happening, man. When I saw with my own naked eyes, I saw it. I went to Adama, I saw it. I saw it. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. This is the strategy to save our people from hunger. Is it going to happen today? It will take some time. But there's a strategy. In 2 years, there's a production of wheat has been happening. You can see it. It's not a propaganda. Do you even know the meaning of propaganda word? Because we need maybe to go to the dictionary and you can see it. You know, this is to cover other things that are happening. Man, if because you see the wheat production, in 2 years to have millions and millions of hectares production, if you see that it's a cover for something that is your own problem of seeing. Do you understand? Like it's you seeing, if you see it as a cover, it's as a cover. If you see it as a food security, it's as a food security. It's how you see it. I don't know our people, and I'm talking about African people, I don't know how we can think sometimes. I came here and I created a video and I share on Twitter and everything, on YouTube, on TikTok. I said, do not be disloyal to your leaders. Being disloyal, it means turn back. I'm not telling you that don't question them. I'm not telling you that if you think they're not worthy, don't vote. Don't vote for them. I'm not telling you that do not keep them accountable. I'm not telling you that. I say, ask them questions, keep them accountable, demand things, but do not be disloyal. Do not turn away, because turning away from your leader of your country is turning away from your country. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. If you made a wrong choice to choose your leader and you're facing consequences, those are the consequences of your choice you made when you voted for those countries who are voting. And you're going to have to wait until the time ends. If you can impeach, do some issue to impeach that leader. But as long as they're on the seat, your leader represents the country. So if your leader, they say, is a dictator, your country is a dictator. That's how people, they will see all of you from that country. Don't you understand that? Don't you understand that? If they attack your leader in your country, they used to attack Magufuli in my country. It was not just only him. If they're going to attack your president, they're going to attack everybody. Then it will happen that even you will be restricted to go to another country because of your leader, because your leader is your country. Represent your country, your nation, guys. You stand against your leader, you stand against your nation. Do you understand that, what I'm saying? I'm just being brutally honest with you. And it's okay. You can say whatever you want to say. That you work for government, you're being paid by the government, and this and that. You can say whatever. It's fine. But I know the truth. And God I serve, He knows the truth. What I'm telling you is nothing but the truth. If your dad is being attacked, your house is being attacked because he's the head of the family. If your leader has been attacked, your country is attacked. Because I'm telling you, nobody cares about the name of your leader. They care about your country. You have to know that. Whoever is there leading, they're going to attack it. Today you can change leader, you can put another leader, they will still attack it. Because it doesn't matter about their name. It's not attack to one person. No, it's attack to the country. There's an entrance to your country, to my country, and that's what they need. You turn against your leader, your leader has nowhere to go. He's working for people who are turning against him. I'm talking about the entire continent of Africa. That's what I'm talking here. If you're an African, listen to this. Question them. Keep them accountable. But do not be disloyal. Do not sell them out. Because that's what we did in the past. Today we're saying that I wish we didn't do that. I wish we didn't kill Thomas Sankara. I wish Patrice Lumumba. I wish Gaddafi. I wish we say that. But we are the one who sold them. We thought they were not good for us. 20 years later, 50 years later, we were like, oh man, oh God, we've been struggling ever since we did that. We've been struggling. We don't get a good leader. Man, I wish we had Sankara. He's gone. You trade him away. So listen very careful to what I'm telling you today. Don't think that you're the only one who cares about your country. Don't think for a second. Your leaders, your people who are putting their lives on the line to defend your country, they care for your country too. So do not think that you're the only one care for your country. That is a pride too. Do not think that you're the only one care for Africa. That is a pride too. Do you remember during the Battle of Adwa? You know, this is something that we need to put on the perspective. We had our fellows Africans from the United States came to fight for that. Do you know that story too? Because it's about Africa. It's about the pride. At that time when you come like that, it's like you are declaring death to die. Because first of all, you have a ticket that you are an American. Second, you're coming from there, coming to fight here. You don't know if you're going to make it. But we're fighting for the pride of the country, the pride of this continent. So I want to remind you guys, these things are not propaganda. These things are things that have been done. Because if there's a conflict going on, do you want us to sit and not to do anything? No, we have other people who are still living. We need to serve them. We need to deal with these issues. We need to deal with everything at the same time. So today, imagine if we didn't have, if there were no this initiative of having, wheat production. 2 years, guys, and you see Ukraine, what is happening? Nobody's having wheat. We'll be in danger too because we don't have wheat. We don't have anything. But because of that initiative, man, don't you see? Like, all right, it's hard to say this because even Jesus, when he came, he was well rejected. Eventually, he was crucified. I'm not trying to compare anyone with Jesus here, but if that happened to him, then what's going to happen to people like me? Yeah. There's this one scripture in the Bible I love. They always end up by saying that whoever has an ear to listen, hear it. And if you don't have,
don't hear it. But this is the decision that I made myself. I said that I'll be critical with our leaders. I'll question them. If I get a chance to sit down with them, I'll question them really difficult questions that people always ask. But I'll never be disloyal. Never. They will experience my heat because I'll bring that on, but I'll never be disloyal. Look at the face. I'm saying this because I love you. You're screwing up. You're screwing our country. You're screwing our nation. I'll say that if I need to say that. But I'm not going to be disloyal. I would say that and I'll tell them that I am with you. You are my leader now. I am with you. I'm ready to support you. I'm ready to help you. I'm ready to do anything to support. That's my attitude right now. That's why for African Union, we say, hey, you know what? I did a research. How many people are willing to pay? You saw 96% say we're willing to pay for African passport. Because I want to tell the African Union, I am with you. I understand what you guys are going through. You receive a lot of money from the West, and you cannot do other things without their permission. If that's the case, I'm not sure. But you know what? Let's have African passport. We're going to pay for it. You know what? Stop receiving these funds. Use me. Use us. We're going to raise money to fund African Union so that we may do our own stuff. We may have one passport, a one currency, a one army, a one everything. Use me. I'm going to organize my people in the diaspora, in the country. I'm going to organize my people that, guys, we need to start supporting. Man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk to people I know. I'm going to talk to Tunacheki. I'm going to talk to Wademaya. These are people that I already had conversation with. See if they're willing that, hey, let's tell our people right now, all of us, that we start contributing for African Union funds. In this condition, first, you must be transparent with the money that is coming in, then the money is going out, and how you use it, transparent to all of us, because we're giving. Those who report, they're supposed to be there outside for us to see. Second, don't receive any single penny from anywhere. Cut ties with everybody. With everybody. Cut ties with them. With the West, cut ties with them. No receiving any money. Third, we need one passport. We need one currency. We need one army. God, because we are paying money for it. We need it. We as a people who are supporting you, we need it. Give it to us. I'm telling you, African Union, it will be the most effective union you've ever seen because we are in charge and we can do that. The question is, are we willing to do it? The question is, how far is too far? Did they go too far receiving loans and there's a huge amount of money that we need to pay? Maybe that's the case. We're going to need to go through that. We're going to need us as Africans to come together to pay those debts. Whatever mistakes have been made, we're going to need to take responsibility and to pay it. And to start building this foundation, this organization in a way that is going to work for us. These are things that we need to do. When we do that, we're actually empowering African Union. We're empowering our own organizations, ourselves. That's what we got to do, man. That's how you do it. But if I sit here and I'm like, you African Union, you're not doing anything, to get out of here, this organization, it's nonetheless, is whatever, which I said a lot. What does it make difference? Does it make any difference? It doesn't make any difference. Those guys, they don't even check your Twitter. Your tweets, they don't check it. You tag them, they don't even see. The matter of fact, if you talk good things about them, they will see. Probably they'll see your tweet. Because they'll go, they'll check, maybe they'll even retweet. They'll be like, this is good for us. Okay, let's share. So instead of being the source of problem, I want to be the source of solution. I want to contribute to the solution. So I don't need to be the chairman of African Union to make these changes. I can make these changes right now by doing what I'm doing. That's the reason why I started doing this, because I had a dream to become a leader of my country. And I was like, am I going to wait until I'm 45? I was like, no, I want to be a leader right now because I feel like I want to be a leader right now. You know, like most of us, we have those visions. We want to do something in the future and you feel like the time is too long to wait and all those stuff. The reason why you feel that is because you're supposed to be doing it right now. Maybe not the way you think you want to do, but the way
that is just have to be like that. So I was like, you know what? Now I'm going to be a leader that I should be. I'm going to start acting. I'm going to start live. I'm going to start operating like the way I want to be in the future. So I started, and here we are. So the same thing to your government, the same thing to your continent, to your country. The same thing. Be the solution. Come with the solutions. Create institutions. Do that. Come with an ideas and actualize them. I think one of the reasons why Africa, we have been delaying in our progress is because we are talking too much, we are criticizing too much, we are pointing fingers too much, and we are disloyals. So we don't get to do anything. We're like, you know, I'm just going to wait this government until it passes and then I'll come back. You're going to wait 4 years? You're going to just waste like that without doing anything? We are not an independent guys organization, but we have to understand that we work under the systems. And as long as we're working under these systems, we need to be very careful. We need to make sure that we are there, we see, so that anytime when we get a chance, I will say this today, it will be the biggest mistake if you put me as a leader. It will be a biggest mistake. Don't do it if you're not ready for the change. Don't do it, because I'm not going to care what people are going to say. I'm not going to care what people are going to, I'm not going to care about that. I have a vision. I have a mission. We have our priorities. I'll go ahead and do that. So if you put me as a leader, then you should trust that I'm going to deliver what needed to be delivered, what I said. And I think likewise, you know, we need to extend that grace to the system that we have. Let's question them. Let's question them. Again, let's question them. Because let me tell you this. Where do you think the West get an idea of attacking our own leaders? Where do you think they're getting strength from? Or our own countries? It's from us. People like me, if I stay here and I'm like, oh, you're a dictator, you're this and this, you do this and this, oh, they watch. And you know what they'll say? They'll say, according to the research I've done, you know, they just watch social media. Even your own people, they call you a dictator. That's a very strong point for them. But what if we stand with our people? What if we pray for them? What if we keep them accountable? What if we question them? What is it going to happen in Africa? So it's the time, it's a matter of loyalty. Africa, it is where it is today because there's so many disloyal people, so many betrayers in a long period of time since the history of Africa. Those are the ones that caused colonialism, came to Africa, sold our leaders and they were dead. Really brilliant leaders that we needed so much for our continent. We cannot repeat the same mistakes. Anything you learned from Ethiopia's recent update? 2 years, and I've never seen something like that. People coming together, defending their country, defending their dignity, defending their nation. It shows you what unity can do to Africa. If only one country can do that, Africa can do that too. If and only if we come together and we demand that change and we become that change that Africa needs. That first thing. Second, I want to say this blank and clear. I have a huge respect. I was thinking the other day that there was a time when you look at Ethiopia, and I told you guys when I came here, I met with some of my Ethiopian friends, and I was saying that, oh, Ethiopia is going to break out very soon, Mika. That's the belief that they believe. And it's sad that that's the belief, not just the belief, but it's the word we say that it's going to break out. You're planting a seed of your own word. What do you expect is going to happen to your own country? So I had to rebuke these people. No, heck no. Heck No, that's, you know, if you guys, if you see me replying to those kind of comments, that's why I sound crazy. That's why people, they say that I'm working for the government, because there's one guy in TikTok, he commented and he said, Ethiopia, there's no progress. It will never be a progress. This peace, there will never be this peace. And, there will be just poverty and people are going to die and this and this. Man, I read that comment and I rebuked that guy in the name of Jesus right away. I say, first of all, shut up if you don't have anything good thing to speak about Ethiopia. And I was not born here. I would say the same exact thing to any country in Africa, because I think what is drawing us back, because of the word of our mouth, because of negativity, because of our confession. When we say we are poor, we are not going to do this. We're not going to do this. That's what's going to happen. And that's what they're taking, those guys, and use it. Until when we are going to be disloyal to our own countries. So coming together, people fighting, you see the spirit of Ubuntu, the spirit of oneness, the spirit of unity. And you always see the results, man. It doesn't matter how long it will take. It might take 1 year. It might take 2 years. But you will see the results. And you're going to lose the result if you lose the basics foundation, and that is unity. That's why this time in Ethiopia is the most important time than ever to preach about unity, to command one Ethiopia, to command more than ever. You don't do that. If you don't do that, if you do not come together, leave all the differences behind, if you do not do that, in war, there's no winner. You got to leave everything behind. You got to leave all grudges behind. Doesn't matter who did wrong, who did right. It doesn't matter. You got to leave everything. Like this time, this is the biggest challenge that Ethiopians, you do have right now. It is the biggest challenge. If you don't close your eyes and try to move on in this peace that you have right now, if you don't do that, if you keep looking back and say, but if you do that, I'm afraid. I am afraid. I'll just end there, because I don't want to say words, because you saying word is proclaiming words. So I don't want to say words, but I am afraid. What to do now? Close your eyes. Yes, we lost a lot. Yes, we have a lot of casualties. Yes, we had a lot of people we buried on the ground. Some of them, they were not even buried. They were humiliated, raped, injured, lose everything. The family of the soldiers lost their dads because they went to fight this. Yes, we have that. Yes, we have grudges. Yes, we don't know how we can move on. But I beg you in the name of the Lord, Jesus Christ, I beg you today, close your eyes, pray, God, help me to look forward, to focus on the light. Help me. That's the reason why I'm telling you to focus on the light, because the moment you focus on the dark, what happened, what they died, the moment you focus on that, you ain't gonna move forward. It's done. So right now, the future of Ethiopia is in the hands of Ethiopians. Not a leader, hands of Ethiopians. The leader is Ethiopian too, so basically everybody. Hands of Ethiopians. The future of Ethiopia is in your hand. Whether you see yourself small or big, you're Ethiopian, the future of Ethiopia is in your hand. If you entertain darkness,
and you are in this at the bridge of peace right now, and you entertain darkness, you're going to move backwards. And I am afraid, because when God does a miracle, he does bigly, like the same way that it has happened. And it just depends on you to embrace that, to cherish that, to bless God with the same blessing that he has given you. Now, it is your choice, you Ethiopians. I love you. That's why I'm saying this to you. I care for you, and that's why I say this to you. And I love Africa, because I know that you are the mother of Africa. You have responsibility for the rest of Africa. You have responsibility to keep your peace, because you are the mother of Africa. You have that responsibility. You are the home for all Africans. You have that responsibility. It's a huge responsibility. It's not just a name. Some of us, you might be happy to be, yes, we're the mother of Africa. Yes, we're this. It's not about that. It's not about pride to be not like mother of Africa. It's not about that pride. It's a responsibility. If you guys, I don't know if you understand, when I say that, I'm giving you responsibility. That in Ethiopia, everybody here in Ethiopia has, supposed, and must be Pan-Africanist. There's no choice. This country has to be Pan-Africanist. You are the mother of. If you're not, don't call yourself a mother. But you are the mother of Africa. Do you understand that? Mother give birth. So if there's a war here, there will be a war in Africa because you give birth to a war. If there's a peace here, you give peace to Africa because you give a birth to the peace of Africa. It is a responsibility. Just like leadership, it's a responsibility. It's not about speeches. It's not about fancy cars and fancy clothes and fancy. It's not about that. It's about responsibility. So when we say that Ethiopia is the capital city of Africa, it's a responsibility. It's not just about pride. No. When you say you are the mother of Africa, it's a responsibility. So right now, the future of Ethiopia is in the hands of Ethiopians. Let no one tell you otherwise. It's in your hands. Yes, we can demand justice, we can demand all these things, but let me ask you this question. Ask yourself a simple question. Do I want war? Do I want a peace? Do I want to keep peace? There's a price for keeping peace. There is a price. And for me, I'll be willing to do anything as long as it's not illegal to keep the peace that I have. Because the fruit of peace is happiness, is joy, is celebration. Okay, all those things are the same thing. But there's a fruit of peace. It's us going to work, us going to school, us to work again, to see our family again, to be united with our families again, to eat peaceful, to sleep good night at night, to have our kids going back to school, our kids to play just like a normal kids and not to hold guns to fight against other rebels. That's the fruit of peace. If you want that, there's a price to pay. And the price I'm telling you blank and clear today here. You can have other. One thing I'll tell you that. Close your eyes. Don't look back. Don't look back. Please don't look back. I'm going to say that again. Don't look back. You look back, it's done. The sensitivity of ethnicity in this beautiful country of Ethiopia is at high peak. But please don't look back. Don't even look at that. That, oh, but they did that. Oh, but they did that. Oh, but they did. Don't. If you really want peace for your country, move forward. Focus on the light. And the light right now is this peace we have. That's the light. Man, it makes sense. These things, I don't know why sometimes, okay, it's God. It's God. It's God, because everything is just coming down to this 2 point. Focus on the light and remember who you are. It is God. Glory to God. Hara, you are Tigrayan, you're Oromo, you I wish I could mention all of those, but man, I really know all of those. Like, I cannot mention them right now. Whoever you are. That's not priority right now. It's not. I'm sorry to say this. I have friends, I have people I'm working with here, but I'm telling you this, it's not a priority right now. It is not. The priority right now, it is the light. And what is that light? The peace. But let me tell you this, not everyone is happy for your peace. Not everyone is happy for your agreement. Should we focus on them? No. Let's focus on the peace we have. When you focus on that, then you know that, oh, this is the time to actually come together. This is the time to actually come together. If you don't look back, you'll be able to sit down in the same seat with the Amhara, with Oromo, with Tigrayan. You'll be able to sit and to be like, how are we going to move forward together? Let's move forward together. Let's move forward together. Let's move forward together. Do you want to go forward? Yes. Do you want to die here? No, I want to move forward. Let's move forward together. This is the moment. This is the moment. No matter how hard it is, it's the price of keeping peace. You can have peace, but keeping peace is the whole new level. It's a whole another thing. There's a price to pay. And that, letting go. Letting go. It's the most difficult thing to do. But you have got to do it. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. It doesn't matter how difficult it is. You've got to do it. This is the moment. You can't delay. You can't wait for tomorrow. Right now. The day that peace agreement was written, that was the moment. We came here, we celebrated. It is the moment now to keep it at all costs. Because I'm telling you, if you don't keep, the next one is not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. God, he has a tendency to give you blessing, and then he just look at you how you use it. If you abuse it, that's the last thing you see. If you use it well, you know what he does? He multiplies. The Bible says, the one who has will be given. The one who don't have, even that thing that God has been planning and thinking that I should give something to him, is going to be taken away from you. What does it say? You have peace right now. Let me read that scripture. Let me read that scripture, because I'm pay attention to what I'm saying, guys. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Myself, I'm paying attention to what I'm saying. Because that video I shared 10 days ago, it really shocked me. I said those words still. I said, do not be shocked, but I was shocked still. It shocked me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm being used by God sometimes, and I'm not even aware. God, I gotta be careful. Let me read this. For to everyone who has will be given. Let me show you here. I love God, man. I love God so much. God is good, and good is God. God is good, and good is God, man. We ain't good, but he is good all the time. Whether we speak or we don't speak, we fight or we don't fight, we die or we live, he is good, and good is God. The definition of good is God. That's the definition of good. Look at this scripture. For to everyone who has, more will be given. It's a principle. For to everyone who has, more will be given. And he will have more than enough. But But there's a condition there, but from the one who does not have, even what he has will be, even what he has will be taken away from him. Dwell onto that. Take a moment to meditate on that. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have more than enough. But from the one who does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him. So let's talk about Ethiopia now. Ethiopia, we have peace treaty right now. You have something. You have something. Do you know what does it mean when you have something? More will be given. You'll be given more peace. That's why today I was talking to someone, Ethiopian, and he was telling me, no, do you think this peace is going to last? It's not going to last. And I look at his eyes and I say, brother, why do you wish worse for your own country? Why? And I believe he questioned himself at that moment. I looked straight at his eyes and we were having nice conversation. But he said that I changed my face. I was like, why are you wishing worse for your own country? You cannot be praying for peace and wishing for war. It's crazy. It's crazy. Why are you wishing for that? That's what they wish to happen. You can't wish the same thing to happen to you. You can't wish the same thing to happen to you because that's what is happening to. You have peace now. More will be given to you. It means whatever you have, to everyone who has, more will be given. You'll be given more peace. That's what you have to wish. That's the word of God right there. That's what you have to confess. More peace, more peace, more peace. And he will have more than enough. You will have more than enough. Like, in other words, you'll have abundantly. If it's a glass of water, like the water will be overflowing like this. More than enough and overflowing. As the mother of Africa, when the peace overflowing, you know what happens? That peace goes to your kids because they'll be sucking the the milk, right? So that peace will be overflowing to all these kids. If mama is healthy, the kids, they'll be healthy too because they are taking that whatever nutrients from the mom. But if mom is just like smoking, drinking, don't take care of her health, you know what's going to happen to kids? You know what's going to happen? Those kids, they'll be tabula rasa. They'll have nothing. By the grace of God, they might be well, but it's grace of God. So this is what happens if you have overflowing peace as a mother of Africa. Overflowing peace. That peace is going to Congo. That peace is going to Tanzania. Thank God we have peace there. That peace is going to Mali. That peace is going to Burundi, Rwanda. That peace is going to everywhere. That's what happens. You'll have more than enough. It's more than enough. I don't know when I'm going to stop this, but I want you guys to remember this moment. That's why I'm doing this. I'm doing all these actions because you need to remember what I'm saying. And maybe you just remember my hands and how I move and you remember my points. More than enough. All right? You'll have it more than enough. You have something. So when you did not have peace, that means you don't have it. Even what he has will be taken away. God is the God of principles. He don't act away from his word. He acts according to his word. Every day, all day long, he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. You want to have more than enough peace in your country? Don't look back. Don't look your ethnicity. Don't even look your region. Stop that. Don't wait for constitution to change. You change.
You act differently. And I'm spending this long time to just say this, to emphasize, because I know I'm hitting right at the point. I can feel it. Don't look back. This is the moment. Call your friends in the north. Go and visit. Build that oneness right now. And it's a message to everyone who is listening. If you're a government, if you're someone, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what God is saying. Don't look back. Hang on to that peace. Build onto that peace. This is the moment to bring our people together, because everybody is feeling that peace. This is the moment. Not tomorrow, not next year. This is the moment. Let me just end by saying this. I pray for you. I wish you well. And I believe this peace is going to last. But there's a conditions I just mentioned before there. There's a work to be done. Please forget. Okay, forgetting it might be difficult. Don't look back. Move forward. Forward is the way. That's where the way is. That's where the door is. Well, before I'm done, I see my sister BJ came here. I believe she might have something to say, and then I'll go ahead to finish and close the session. BJ?
Yeah, I just it was like your statement is so on point. Well, people they're reading that literally, but from one who does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him. So we're constantly thinking we have nothing when we have everything. Yah has given us everything. All the words in the Bible are action words, not, just statements. We have to make those steps. We have to make those movements. We have to build on what we have. Like 1,000 drops in a bucket will fill it, but it takes a drop. We think it has to be full before we can make a move. What Ethiopia has shown us is that by coming together, we can make a move towards peace. And we don't need anyone else to put a drop in the bucket. We have more than enough to fill that bucket. We can't hold on to a barrier that doesn't exist from blocking us from moving forward. We have to move forward. We can't look at because we don't, or because it wasn't, or because in the past. The actions of everyone in the past has brought us to the point where we're at now. Now we must move forward and make it happen, and not depend on anyone else to do it for us, and not to use any excuses of why it can't be done. God is about actions. We have to take those steps. We have to be the change that we want, no matter how full your pockets are or how empty they are. Once we free ourselves and bring love into our hearts, then we show ourselves worthy. But if we keep pulling guns and knives and hate and negativity, what do you think you're going to have? You're going to have what we have now. And if you love the life that you're living, then keep living it as it is and don't expect anything to change, because God is not going to fix a mess, because God is not going to be a part of a mess. And if you want him to change things, we have to change. Stop looking in the mirror at yourself and seeing yourself as the enemy. How can you hate somebody who look like you? Because that person is you. We have to be the change that we want.
God is not going to fix your mess because he's not in the mess. That's powerful.
Absolutely.
Stuff. Very powerful. Very powerful. Thank you, BJ, for the word of wisdom. That's really, we needed this. We needed this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, as always, for having me. And thank you for being the light that we need to lead us out of this mess to get to God.
God is good. Good is God. I love you, BJ. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Love you too. Take care.
All right. That's it. What else is there to say? Focus on the light. Remember who you are. Sometimes you're going to need to go and to look yourself at the mirror to remember who you are. Maybe you forgot yourself. Look yourself at the mirror and try to remember who you are. When you look at yourself at the mirror, you'll see African. You'll see Ethiopian. You'll see Tanzanian, Kenyan, South African, Somali. You will see that. And that, there's 1.something billion people out there. They're just like you. They're Africans. Focus on that. Focus on the light. Appreciate for the super chat for all who are giving here. Let me read the comment specifically for this, just to appreciate that. By the grace of God, what happened in Ethiopia is hopefully. In other hand, DRC problem are global. Everybody wants something from DRC. Neo-colonialists are using greedy and weak leaders like, I'm not gonna read that name. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. Appreciate Jimmy, by the way, for the super chat, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I just spoke here today. Just spoke here today. We have no idea. We have no idea. Let me just say this, guys, that we have no idea. Sometimes it's good to just confess that we don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I hear people saying, I hear people talking, but I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. So I'm going to stick with what I know. Why should I waste my time to promote what I don't know? Do you know? Or do you hear? There's a difference to know and to hear. People talk all the time. But do you know? Do you know that? We must be careful, because this is what brings Africa down all the time. If you don't know, don't talk about it. If you do not know, don't even entertain. Focus on what you know. That is focusing on the light. What do you know? Focus on what you know. Why should we focus on what we don't know? That's what costs us a lot of time. We spend a lot of time, we waste time. I have 3 words, 3 philosophy in my life: preparation, details, and time. I always say that. We waste a lot of time to focus on what we do not know, while we can focus on what we already know. You already now know that you are the king. You already know that you are queen. You already know that you are African. You already know that you are loved, and you should love others. You already know that you have peace at your hand,
And you should focus on keeping that so that it may be multiplied to you. This is what we know. Let's focus on what we know, guys. Let's do that. Me, I made my decision that I will never focus on what I don't know. I'll never focus on what I don't know. But let me tell you this. Do you know why I'm dangerous? Because God is with me. And God speaks all the time. So I might not know from you, from that, from news, from whatever, but God speaks to us. When you open our hearts and open our ears, He speaks to us. So when I come here and I talk to you, I talk with all the confidence because I do know. But I'm not going to talk just about something that I don't know. And that's what I'm advising you. Do not talk about something you don't know. Stop saying propagandas. You do not know. That's why you're saying that. Stop focusing on that. Just stop focusing on that. Because that's what is going to jeopardize your own peace. Focus on what you know. And let me be very, very specific, because maybe what you know is negative. So don't focus on that. Focus on the light. Peace right now is the right. It's the light. And it's the right thing. Don't focus on where you come from. Don't focus on me, but. We pray for peace. We have peace now. Embrace that. There's a price for peace. Don't you think that the people of Ukraine, they pray for the same thing every single day? They lost everything. Don't you think that because of that war, don't you think that they are not praying and wanting peace just to come for one more day to spend time with their family in their home? There's a price for peace. And when you have it, don't play with it. I expect to see so much positivity of all Ethiopians and Africans on the internet about the current issue. I expect that because we are going to build on the momentum of that ourselves. I wanted to say, let's show them. No, we don't even need to show them. Let's show ourselves that we have changed. And we want to keep the peace at all costs. Just like the same way we fought for the peace with everything you got. You guys fought for it with everything you got. You can fight to keep it with everything you got. God, I don't know why I'm keep emphasizing on this, man. The same energy you fought for, the same energy you need to fight for right now. It's not a time to relax. The hard part is coming. The hard part, in fact, is here now. The hard part is to close your eyes and to just walk. Not to look back. Not to look on your ethnicity. But to embrace others and to be like, we have peace now. Oh, this is the moment. Let's go to Libera. This is the moment. Let's go. This is the moment. Let's bring people energy. Let's bring all this hatred that has been there now. Get it. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're my people. You're my people. I love you. I will hug everybody. You know, I've been hugging people. Hugging everybody I meet. Like, it's the time to hug. There's a peace. It's the time to do that. You're my brother. You're my sister. You know, I don't care. You know what? I don't care about what happened before. I do not care. I just enjoy this moment that I'm here with my brother and with my countrymen in one country. I'm glad now. My goodness, I'm glad that my people, they're no more. I'm glad for that. Oh, now, okay, let's deal with food security now. I'm glad that this is now, okay, how we're building back the schools and these hospitals and all this, how we're doing that. This is the time for that. It's not the time to be like, okay, now you're going to pay. Okay, peace is done. We have peace now. Okay, now let's talk about how are you going to pay. Oh, God.
Oh God, I'm telling you. Oh. You know what? The price of sin is death. And we pray for God's grace to save us from that, because we're all sinners. So whatever sin that have been committed in this land of Ethiopia, in this land of Africa, whatever sin has been committed, trust me, man, God is the God of principles. He will deliver it one day. So no matter people, they deal with it or they don't, I want you to know that God is just one else but God. God is a God. God, He is the judge. Hold on to no organization, no anything that is, even our justice system, they're not just. God is, and your life will be different, because you're not going to expect justice from the justice system. It will just never happen. Even if you have a perfect, it will never happen in this world, guys. Like, guys, man, we are trying to make things like God. No, nobody in this earth that is just but God. We are justified because we are with Him. Doesn't make you a just. He is just, so I am. Not I am. No, He is just, so I am. He is holy, so I am. He is good, so I am. He is peace, so I am. He is love and unity, so I am. Everything is Him. Everything is about Him. Do you understand? When people, they try to take God out of the picture, they take everything away. It's dangerous. Don't even accept it. That's why I will never accept to take God out of the picture of Swahili nation, One Africa. I will never accept it, because you take God out, you take everything. You take Him out, you take everything out. Are you willing to take that risk? Never do that. He is just. The problem is, we as a human being, we are finding justice where there is no justice. The justice is in God. Whether you believe it or not. That's the truth. When did you get justice from the justice system? When? How can I give you just and I am not just? How? It's impossible. It's impossible. You're looking for water, or you're looking for milk in the water tap, or you're looking for strawberry in the mango tree, or you're looking for ugali in Ethiopia. Look for injera in Ethiopia. There's injera here, not ugali, not even rice sometimes. Injera is there. Look for injera from the injera maker. Look for ugali from the ugali chef. Look for mango from the mango tree. Am I saying that, okay, the fight for justice, just stop, don't do it again, just leave it to God, this and this? What I'm saying is, do everything you can, but always remember, you'll never get it. Because I cannot give you justice, because I'm not just. Oh, how can I explain this? Because for me, I really understand it very clearly. So I'm trying to make sure that, you know, everybody understands me. I am just. Because I am just, I give you justice. You understand? I am love. Because I am love, I give you love. So God loved the world and he gave. I am peace. Because I am peace, I give you peace. You understand? But I am not just. I give you not just. That's what I'm saying. Price of peace. To focus on the light. The light is peace you have. Don't look back. Don't look side. Move forward. I explained enough. I love you guys. I'll always love you. Thank you for the super chat from Jimmy. Marriott, thank you so much for your consistent giving. And for Tigist, appreciate you guys for your giving. It means a lot. Thank you so much. All right. I gotta end now. I appreciate TikTokers. Oh, okay. My IG name, guys, is the same name. Like, if you want to find me on all social media, like, I cannot have like 2 different names. It's the same name. Find Swahili Nation, find Mika Chabala. So it's the same name everywhere. All right. TikTok, I'll say bye to you first. Bye, you guys. I love you. Thank you for joining me in TikTok. We have like 31,000 likes. TikTok, they always surprise me. On YouTube, if you haven't liked, please like. Thank you for 31,000 likes. It means a lot. I love you guys. See you next time. Oh, yeah. For TikTok there. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. This is cool. This is my second time to do TikTok live. Yeah, we had like 1,779 viewers and likes 31.6 thousand likes, and viewers who commented 150. So we have a really good engagement from TikTok. I think I'll continue to do live, both times. Here, whenever I do here, I can do it there as well. Here on YouTube, let's see YouTube. How many likes do we have on YouTube? We have 251 likes. So if you haven't liked this stream, please do. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you haven't shared, please do. And we'll highly appreciate that. Appreciate you guys again, once again. I'll just raise a word of prayer because God is everything. You don't take everything away. Don't you dare to take everything away. Because when you take everything, you're left with, somebody replied to me, when you take everything away, you're left with empty box. Nothing. You keep everything, you have everything. That's a bright side. Let me finish in the light note. You keep everything, you have everything. Everything that you need. You have everything. Let me show you. You keep everything, you have everything. For everyone who has,
He has something. More will be given, and he will have more than enough. But from the one who does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him. I don't want anything to be taken away from me. God, I appreciate you for such a beautiful day you have given me again to breathe, to live, and to share this message. There's a lot we can learn from these events that has happened, a lot we can learn from the beloved country of Ethiopia that we can implement to our countries, that we can sustain our countries. Help us to keep you always. Help us to love you always. Help us to move forward and to focus on the light. It might be easy to be saved, but it's not easy to be done. So help your people. Help Africans. Help Ethiopians. Focus on the light. Remember who they are, who we are, and to move forward. I praise you. Thank you. Thank you for all you are doing. In your precious name. And all glory to you, God. In your precious name, Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys. Appreciate. I'm out of here.